guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be learning about another chemistry topic called significant figures, or you can shorten it and say Sig Figs. Now Sig Figs are basically every measured digit with certainty and one estimated digit. This means that significant figures are all the numbers that you can be sure about and one number that you estimate, or another simple way of saying is round. So there are 5 rules to finding significant figures. The first one is all non-zeros count. So let's say you have a number like 6.543. By this first rule, all non-zeros count. So all 4 of these numbers, by that rule, should be Sig Figs. So you'll have 4 Sig Figs. Okay, so the next rule is zeros before the first non-zero do not count. So, for example, if you have 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, that is 5 Sig Figs, because all of these numbers are, all these zeros, I should say, are after the first non-zeros. So based on the second rule, these are all Sig Figs. Another example, or another rule, the third rule is zeros between 2 non-zeros count. So, let's say you have 2005. This is 4 Sig Figs, because these zeros are between 2 non-zeros, which make this number have 4 Sig Figs. The fourth significant figure rule is zeros after the first non-zero, but they're before the decimal, require the decimal to count. So an example of this would be, let's say 100.00. Now this is just 100, but if you're counting Sig Figs, that will be 5 Sig Figs. Because these zeros, all of these zeros are after the first non-zero, but the numbers before the decimal need this decimal to count in this number. So because these zeros after the first non-zeros have the decimal there, they count in the number of Sig Figs. And the last significant figure rule that is important to know is zeros after the first non-zero, after the decimal, always count. So if you have 210.00, all of the numbers after this decimal, all of the zeros, I should say, after this decimal, count in the significant figure count. So right now this is 5 Sig Figs. But if we were to continue this number, it would be like, if we add 3 more, that would be 8 Sig Figs. 8 Sig Figs. Because all the zeros after the decimal count. Okay, so one last concept we're going to go to about Sig Figs is rounding with Sig Figs. So with significant figures, you always want to round at the least specific place. So let me write down a quick example. So let's say you have 45, write that one space, 45.32 plus 1 point, you always want to line up the decimals, 1.927 plus 348 with no decimal plus 21.6. So if we add that up, we get 416.847. Now we have to round. So if we want to round, we always round at the least specific place. So if we go down, we see that the first place that has something missing is this spot right here, this row right after the decimal. So that's where we round. We round in this place after the decimal. So So we'll round like that, and the answer will be 4/17. Now, when you end up with decimals as answers, there's a certain way to round. So let's say you end up with 1.5 as your answer. So how do you round that? Well, if it is an odd number, it will always go to the even number at halves. If it's an even number, it will always go to the even number at halves. So to explain that, we have 1.5 here, and this will round to 2. Okay, so what if we have 2.5? Well, this will actually round down to 2 as well. And that's what's different between rounding, regular rounding, and significant figure rounding. So that was the last concept we had for today. Just once again, a big thank you for watching. Make sure to comment and like below. Thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.